Welcome back. We thought for a minute, didn't we, tonight that Watford were going to perform a sucker punch on United. United, though, fought back. A brilliant goal, wasn't it, to complete the victory. 4-2 to Manchester United. And talking of punches, a week on Saturday, you can see James De Gale in action on BT Sport Fight Night as he takes on Truax to defend his IBF super middleweight title. Right, let's confirm the rest of the night's results for you. Plenty of goals, actually, in the Premier League this evening. However, the one place where there wasn't was down on the south coast. Brighton 0, Crystal Palace 0. That is Palace's first away goal points of the season. No away goals, though, still for them this season. But another point on the board as they look to claw themselves to safety. It finished Leicester 2, Tottenham 1. Vardy and Mahrez gave Leicester the win. A bad week for Tottenham. Harry Kane with the only goal for them. We've seen what happened here in this 6 goals shared between Watford and Manchester United. And it finished West Brom 2, Newcastle United 2. West Brom were 2 up in that. It was Johnny Evans' own goal, though, that gave a point to Newcastle. That is 101 days now since West Brom's last Premier League win. Plenty of games happening tomorrow. We're live tomorrow, of course. You can see what this means, though, for Manchester United towards the top of the table. Closing in on City, still 5 points the gap. City with a game in hand now. Of course, the two play each other in a couple of weeks' time. Watford remain 8th. The win tonight for Leicester moves them up into the top half of the table, and that point also key for Brighton. It leaves them 10th as things stand, and you can see their West Bromwich Albion now just a couple of points ahead of the drop-off zone. Of course, there's a handshake. We expected nothing less, did we? For an elder statesman in the Manchester United dressing room who's currently wanting to talk about a new contract, he's found some form at the perfect time, Ashley, hasn't he?
He has, yeah. He's probably been United's best player, I'd say, over the last 6 or 7 games. He's had quite a few injury problems over his career, especially the last couple of years. And now his contract's up, he seems to be fit.
What would you do if you were Jose?
I'd definitely keep him. I think he's a fantastic professional, first and foremost. He's a great influence on the younger players in the dressing room. And he's a very, very good pro. He works hard, trains hard. And you see that. Players that are on the edge of the first team football clubs, when they're called upon to come and play in the first team, you see how good professionals they are. Because if they can come in and look fit, hit the ground running, that means they're good professionals because they have to train hard because it's hard to come in from the cold and perform. And he's done that on numerous occasions this season. And now he's put himself in a team and he's in the shop window to make sure that he stays in that team.
We think that there's an option on United's side for another 12 months for him, but we also believe that he wants a little bit longer than that. The way that he's playing, how important he is to this United team at the moment, you'd go and give him what he wants if it's a couple of years, wouldn't you?
All he wants might be a bit too far.
Not if it's only 2 seasons.
No, he's playing very well. I think from United's point of view, they're probably having a look around for a left-back, I would say. And I think the positives that Ash is showing is not only, the performances that he shows at left wing-back, but that ability to be that player, if he comes off the bench even. I can see more of a role like that in the future for Ashley Young. So if United see that or believe that a 2-year contract warrants that, then he thoroughly deserves that. And I think this season, the growth that he's showing, the responsibility that he's showing, the kind of that commanding aura that he's showing from a left wing-back position that has got him back into the England setup as well. Yeah, I would say, give it him. Look at the confidence of taking that free kick. It's unbelievable.
But he can play in numerous positions as well. He's not just a left wing. He plays right wing, left wing, left back, right back, left wing. He can play. That's what the beauty of having him in your squad. When there's problems, he can fill those gaps. And them players don't come around often, and they're vitally important to squads if you're looking to go and win trophies on different fronts too.
I think he'd be good in the dressing room with the young players as well. He's got the experience. Ashley, he's been with a team that's won leagues and won trophies. So, he's a great example to show for these young players. And 2 years, I think, would be good for him.
Yeah. What did you make of Anthony Martial tonight? He's had an important role under Jose this season, on the score sheet again tonight.
Yeah, he has enough. He's electric. Once he gets the ball at his feet, he's almost unplayable at the moment. He's a fantastic footballer. His technique, his dribbling, and he keeps saying he wants to play up front. You're hearing them murmurs, and here the chance comes. He looks cool and composed, and clinical was the word we used in the first half, and especially with him. I think he's a wonderful talent. You speak to players around the ground, they say this kid could be anything he wants to be.
Great finish.
Yeah, I'd say it's an improvement all round. They just seem to play a lot closer to Lukaku, and I think they all reap the rewards of that.
We had a little bit of a conversation in the ad break because I described the final goal as the goal of the night. You immediately said, "Are you sure? I'm not sure about the free kick." You thought the free kick was better to you than Jesse's strike at the end?
I think it was close, yeah. I think Jesse's had that kind of...
Very different goals.
Look, worry. From where he's picked it up, it's absolutely sensational. I have to say, I think the Watford defending slightly questionable. Kind of a foot that's dangled out there. But to have the fitness and the quality at the end of this, to be able to do this at this time of the game under the pressure that Manchester United were under, it was absolutely brilliant from Jesse. But, I suppose the free kick had that little bit of extra for me.
Scholes, you're not surprised, though. We've seen this day in doubt from this kid, haven't we?
I was just thinking, this lad's he's got real talent. He gets in great positions. He's capable of doing this. We just need to see it more often now. And he hasn't really established himself in the first team. That's his next aim now. He has to, because me and Rio know he's got the ability. He's got great ability. Either foot, can score a goal, can make a goal. All the attributes you want from a number 10 stroke midfield player.
But the area of the pitch that he is in for United, that's so competitive. Jose's got so many options.
Yeah, it is, but we talked about versatility with Ashley Young before. This kid's the same. He can play off either side. He can play through the middle. He can play in a three-man midfield too.
Where do you prefer him?
I don't mind him off either side or behind the front man. I think he's capable because he's so intelligent with his movement to collect the ball off people. As long as you get him the ball, and I think what has to happen is the other players need to trust him a bit more because he gets in fantastic positions to turn and face the opposition's defence, but they don't give it to him all the time. And I think that comes from him as well, demanding and telling people, give me the ball, and saying, I'm here to play, I'm here to produce moments for you, but I need the ball in these positions. And I think that comes from devilment in the way he plays as well. And when he gets that turned as well, a couple of times me and Scholes will go, shoot, take him on. And I think he just needs a little bit of that to really establish himself.
You know what he is? He's one of those players, that the players out there playing with him will want to play with him to an extent. They'll want him on the pitch. They know they get the best out of him. There are players out there that play a little bit for themselves. I think like Marcus Rashford and Martial, they want to go and do what they do is brilliant. But I think Lingard gives up a little bit of himself to make others better by working hard and linking everything together between midfield and attack.
Well, it was right. There were a couple of moments tonight where he was in a good position and he didn't get the ball.
Yeah, I think Rio was saying, maybe they don't trust him enough. Maybe he's not the big name of a Mkhitaryan or somebody like that. But he's got that ability. He's got, I'd say, the same level of ability as Mkhitaryan. Like I said, he can score goals, he can make goals. What's his best position? That's another...
It's about him establishing himself.
Exactly, that's what I said. He has to establish himself now. He has to be more consistent. He has to produce more performances like that to make him a real first-team player. I don't think he's ever gone on from that bit part player really yet. But now he needs to. He's, what is he now, 23 maybe, 24? Now it's the time. He has to kick on from
on pure talent alone, he's got all the attributes to be a United player.
Yeah, 100%. And I think you ask anyone in that dressing room, they'll tell you the same thing. But I think also, Scholesy was quiet. He's quite a quiet player on the pitch. But when you want the ball, you'd hear Scholesy. Yeah. If he wanted the ball, he'd let you know. And I think sometimes you've got to let people know you want the ball and tell them that you don't give it to me, I'm going to scream at you again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you'd hear me if he didn't give it to me.
You didn't scream, did you?
He swore.
Yeah, like Rio said, there's very quiet players off the pitch. I was very quiet off the pitch, but you can't afford to be on a football pitch. You need to be vocal if you want to be on the ball. Or, you want the ball off these type of players. You have to be loud.
I would ask what you said, but it's probably a bad idea. So
it's too early.
It's far too early. Let's instead go to Jose Mourinho, who's talking to Des. That's the 8th time this season that his team has scored 4 goals or more. They've now scored 10 goals more in the Premier League than Tottenham. When does the conversation end about Jose playing boring football?
Good question, Jake. Like you said,
You sound surprised.
Yeah, by a good question. Yeah. I don't know. You have to say they were good tonight. They were clinical. The goals they scored were really good in that first period. I think where they're going to be judged now is the big games. They have to start winning these games. You have to start competing because they haven't really. The Liverpool game away, they was poor. The Chelsea game, poor again. Saturday against Arsenal is a big game, and they have to turn up in that game. That's when they'll get credit for winning games. Of course, well, you can't. It's very difficult to criticise when you're winning games, especially when you're scoring 4 goals. But these big games now, they've really got to turn up in these big games and win some of them games.
And of course, you can see that game live on BT Sport on Saturday evening. Let's talk about Romelu Lukaku. Will he be frustrated in that dressing room now that they've come into this game, scored 4 goals, dominated for long periods, and yet again he's not scored?
100%. He'll be in that dressing room now going, oh my gosh, what has happened? We've scored 4 and I've not scored. But what he will say, or what the people around him will be saying, you've got 2 assists. You've got a couple of shots off and got on target, but you've got 2 assists, set up 2 goals, and we've won by scoring 4 goals. Take some confidence from that. But strikers live and die by scoring goals. So there's no doubts in my mind that he'll be sitting there thinking that I'm disappointed not getting on the score sheet, considering we scored the 4 goals.
I felt like he got into better areas today, though. I think kind of the formation setup really suited him. I'd like to have seen him hit that one. This, he's just got to get into the 6-yard box. I don't get why he's hanging back. The chance is there to get in the 6-yard box. That's where goals were scored, and he didn't stick it away. I think he was very hesitant here. You know, he wasn't very clinical. He could have hit that then, really, straight away, first time. But takes a couple of touches, and obviously by then it gets away from him. But there were positive signs that he's coming back, and I thought he contributed a lot to the performance of Manchester United today. But obviously, you know, there are improvements in terms of putting it in the back of the net.
I remember Diego Forlan is a good example. He came to Manchester United, you were there at the same time, and he really struggled for a long time to get goals. What do you do when you're a player sharing a dressing room with a striker who's not scoring? What will those United players be doing?
They'll stick by and they'll try and help him. Possibly getting a bit of stick as well, a little bit of Mickey taking.
Almost certainly getting a bit of stick.
Almost definitely, yeah, but you know, there was a few incidents out there today when Pogba's like giving him little short passes and he's coming back into midfield. Well, you don't want him. I think he needs more direction from his midfield players. So get out my way. You get up there. You get on the shoulder. You get in areas where I can hit you. You're not good to me coming off as a number 10. Although tonight he was quite good. You know, he made a couple of goals from them positions, but I think he needs more direction from Pogba, more direction from Matic. Get in them areas, make them runs. You're quicker, you're stronger, you're bigger than anybody else, and I will find you. It's up to them then to find him.
But also, I think you have to understand that every striker goes through a patch like this. Harry Kane didn't score in August. Do you know what I mean? Got stick. So he's going to go through patches. This is inevitable.
This is one goal in 11 games, though. This is a stretch.
But again, today he's had an effect on the game. He's provided 2 assists. But he'll come out of this. But I think the bigger problem for him maybe is Zlatan Ibrahimovic being there. Mentally, having another striker, a big striker behind who wants to play, he knows that. That's a pressure from within that sometimes for some people find it hard to deal with.